give you a much more powerful tool than Sunbase. So far Sunbase, we see, it's very polished. It's very, oriented to, let's say, end users, being able to provide as much data without, too much tinkering around. And here in the closed beta, we want to provide more raw sources to people that want to do more in-depth research. Also, it allows us to iterate much quickly because we don't concentrate so much on the user experience. We concentrate mostly on shipping data feeds, which, actually, polishing the user experience takes a lot of time. So let's see how that looks. So when you log into the closed beta, the first thing that you're gonna see is this overview. Here, you're gonna see all the ERC20 tokens that we have in our database right now. So I think there are around 200 and so 3 pages, each page like 100 projects, so 200 and something projects. This makes navigating around the project easier. Some of these dashboards actually are also available for other non-ERC20 projects. So I'm gonna show you how that works. So let's jump in let's say EOS, because a lot of people are talking about EOS nowadays. Let's open the first dashboard, which is the GitHub activity. Now here you see a similar graphic to what we saw on the website, but here you have the ability to change, for example, the interval in which the dev activity is aggregated. Right now it's 7 days. So you can change it to, let's say, daily, which is actually not very useful. You can see, the weekends are kind of weaker than weekdays. So I like to look at this chart at a 7-day interval, but you can even make it like 2 weeks interval. So it's gonna smooth a bit more. You can change the price according to which you're looking on the chart. And also you can change the ticker here. So as I said, it's not only for ERC20 tokens. You can also look at, let's say Bitcoin. You can have a BTC USD price here. You can look at the, what else? Let's say Bitcoin Cash. You see, it's much lower than, and also the activity starts middle of September, which, you gotta check out the Medium article. It explains why in the other websites, actually, the data is kind of skewed. It's gonna show you also the activity of Bitcoin, but we don't do that. So, basically you can navigate here, what price pair you want to plot, what ticker, what time interval. You can also drill down with drag and drop. You can see, here in this interval, you can change the time interval from here to, let's say, the last 90 days, the last year. So yeah, quite flexible. Okay, so this is the simple thing. It's the same as the data we show on the website, so nothing too fancy. Let's continue. The second dashboard I want to show you, let me look at my notes here, because I have, oh, actually, for GitHub activity, I wanted to show you some dashboards. Okay. Let's look at, we looked at EOS, let's look at SAN. So SAN is kind of interesting. Here, beginning of December was when we were rewriting part of our system that is open source, and you can see this huge spike. And also it's kind of interesting to see how the price also kind of spiked around this time. I'm not sure whether they're connected, but yeah, it's an interesting observation. And also status. Status is also interesting. Here, there is no visible pattern between dev activity and price, I would say. Although here, when the beginning of 2008, kind of the development and the price were spiking at the same time. And let me quickly check EOS. What was the case there? Yeah, here it's interesting how the biggest def activity that they had also was around beginning of January when the price was going up quite a bit. Actually, this is middle of January 2008. Now, just things to that when you look at this chart, you can be asking yourself: is there a connection? Is it not? So yeah. Okay, let's move on. Now, the second dashboard is this price volume indicator. This also, we have it for ERC20 and also all other projects for which we have price and volume. So basically, Bitcoin and all other blockchains that we collect this information. So let's jump on OMG. OMG, here is OMG, and we can open it here. Cool. So what we show on this dashboard, so the green lines is when this indicator is triggered. So what this indicator is trying to do is trying to see when the price of the token is going up and the volume is decreasing. So the hypothesis is that this could be an indication that the price is approaching a top. Right now, we sent a notification in our signals channel in Discord for this event. If you join this channel, you can see it. It's very interesting how for OMGs actually managed to predict this this top here. Now, it's not 100% accurate as any other indicator, but it could be an interesting data point in your analysis. As I see, it's also triggered quite a bit around here. Let's check it for SAN. So here it managed to trigger, here it triggered quite a bit when the price was going up. And also it managed to kind of predict approaching the top here. Let's zoom in a bit. Why it doesn't zoom properly? Okay. So here it triggered a bit early, I would say, but still interesting. And what was the other one? Let me check my notes. Oh, status. Let's take the last 6 months. For status, it kind of managed to trigger here at this top. So still, something that might be interesting for you. We actually plan for these signals. We have this plan to roll out a Telegram integration so that when you log into Sunbase, you'll be able to join a bot, which you'll be able to configure what kind of notifications you want to receive, for which tokens and all this, and get these notifications on your phone. So, this is something that we plan to do quite soon. So, so here is for the same indicator for Bitcoin Cash. It kind of, triggered nicely here and, in here. Now, as, you're aware, this doesn't mean anything. It's just some nice examples. There are also many other examples where it doesn't work so well. So, it's just piece of the puzzle, as Maxim is gonna say. Okay. And this is basically our proof of concept for a signal that is going to be triggered. And right now we send it in the signals channel in Discord, but we plan to do the same kind of signal thing for, let's say, a spike in transaction volume, maybe spike in transaction volume to exchanges, things like that. And we also plan to integrate it with Telegram so that when you log into Sunbase, you hook up your Telegram. Basically, you click a button, it goes to Telegram with a bot that will send you these notifications to your phone, and you should be able to configure them. Okay. Let's go back to the chart to the table, and let's open the, I would say, the most interesting chart here. No, maybe now it's not the most interesting anymore because we have the social data. That will be the last one. So this data for on-chain, the on-chain data. Let's go to EOS again. Here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna close some tabs first. Okay, so here we have the on-chain data for EOS. You see the burn rate here, the same metric that we saw on Sunbase, but here it's a bit more configurable. You can change like the interval that you're looking into it. You can also change the pair that you plot it against. Let's say that. And okay, we're looking at the data for the last 90 days here on a daily basis. So we have the burn rate, we have the transaction volume, again, the same thing that we were seeing on Sunbase. And here we have a more interesting thing, which is the exchange flow balance. So the way we measure this is that we try to detect, to calculate and aggregate the amount of funds that are going in and out of exchanges for this token. So amount of EOS tokens that are going in and out of exchanges. When this metric here is above 0, then there are more funds going in exchanges than going out. When it is below 0, like here, there are more tokens being withdrawn from exchanges than being deposited. So here around, this is mid of April, we can see that there is a big amount of EOS tokens that being going out of exchanges. And I think the hypothesis here is that people are getting their tokens out so that they can register them for the token swap that EOS is going to do. So this might be an interesting metric to look at. Here you see the same statistic as above, but they're split. So you have one chart for the outflow and one chart for the inflow to exchanges. So if you ask me, I actually prefer this one here because it gives you a better picture of what's going on, whether there are more funds going in or out. Here you can see them separated. I personally don't like this chart. It's not so obvious to me. And here is the daily active addresses that are being used. As you can see here, there is this spike, exactly at the spike of, generally spike of the exchange volume. And as I said, this is actually normal because when you deposit or withdraw, you use a unique address that is being provided to you by the exchange. So it's usually normal to have this spike, these things to be correlated. And also the transaction volume is also usually quite correlated with such kind of spikes in exchange activity, as you can see here. Now, something interesting about this dashboard is that it works also for other types of tokens, not only ERC20. It works, for example, one of the examples that I really like to give is with CryptoKitties. Here is their Ethereum smart contract. So you can see, all the function calls that are being done here. Yeah, if you open some of it, you're gonna see it's create, sale, auction. There is probably, it's again create, sale, auction. There are things like breeding and transferring. Yeah, they have also transfer of kitties and all that. But the idea is you can take the contract address. I'll copy paste it from here. It's essential that this address here is low case, because this is how we keep the data in our databases, all low case. So if you copy it from here, you see there are some uppercase letters. It's not gonna find the contract, and you put it here. And let's plot the Ethereum Bitcoin price. And let's look at the last year. Okay, so here you can see the spike of daily active addresses for this contract. Let's zoom it in. So basically, this could be a proxy of number of unique users that has been playing CryptoKitties, and you can see that the spike was around 9th and 10th of December. You can use this for other non-tangible of the authors of CryptoKitties, and you can use this dashboard to track its adoption. You can see that at the top there were 13,000 unique addresses using the contract. Right now there are less than 500, so 450, around 450. So you can estimate around how much hype was accumulated around this time. And you can also see that it's very interesting how exactly at this time the price of Ethereum was also the lowest. This is the price to Bitcoin. And then, after that, it started to increase. Maybe, after CryptoKitties, people saw that Ethereum is actually something that you can build real stuff on it. I kind of like this project because it's awesome. It's just, yeah, for gaming, it's great. But yeah, generally, here is an example of how you can enter some arbitrary address. Another nice thing is that you can also share this. So I can say, let's share. And I can create a snapshot. Okay, let's create a snapshot. And now when I copy this link, I can send this to someone, and he doesn't need to be part of the beta program. He'll be able to open this dashboard and see the stats. So let's come on. So here it is. So, you can share this with your friends, let's say, and, so that they can also look at the data. They won't be able to look, further from the time interval that you shared. So they won't be able to see like 1 year. It will be cut off. This is how it works. And also you can embed this. We actually did this in some discourse posts. So you can go on discourse and copy paste this HTML. Let me show you how it's gonna look like if you paste it on some web page. New pen. Okay. So it's going to render like a small, yeah, here it's rendering it, a small rectangle with the graphic. Yeah, here it is. And you can also change the size of it here if this is your thing. So yeah, basically it allows you to do some embedding of this data. And also another thing that you can do here is to export the data in CSV from here. Now I'm going to export this as columns. Okay, like this, and change the time format a bit. So let me switch over to Excel. Give me a minute. I need to change the screen sharing. Where it is. Come on. Oh, here it is. Now I can open this. You should be able to see. No, you probably don't see my Excel. Come on. You see it now, right? Yeah, you should be seeing it. So here's the data. Now, unfortunately, this is Excel for Mac. It's a bit different, I think, from Windows, but the idea is the same. You can now you need to do this transformation here, text to columns, in order to input the data. Like you need to specify like semicolons here, and then you can do stuff like date to be in the correct format, then finish, and then you have the data in Excel. So from here you can do some additional analysis and plot charts and all kind of stuff. So basically it allows to export the data and do some additional crunching. Okay, I won't dig too much into that because yeah, I guess you get the idea. Okay, let's go back to my browser. Okay. All right, and the last thing that I wanted to show you is the new social dashboards. You can find this when you click at the top here. There is a folder crowd sentiment, and we have these charts for several projects. Let me see which ones I've been thinking to show you. Yeah, let's jump on EOS. Okay, so what do we have here? So this is for the last 90 days, and it measures the amount of volume. So this is the amount of messages being exchanged about EOS for professional trader chats. So we track some chats where traders are talking, and we look at how many messages are mentioning EOS, and we plot this over time here. Then the second chart shows you the amount of Telegram messages being sent around for all the Telegrams that we track, which are quite a lot, that are mentioning EOS, except for the EOS price Telegram, so which is obviously most probably discussing EOS. So everything except their EOS Telegram channel. And the third one measures the social volume in the Telegram, in EOS Telegram channel. So the project itself. Now here, it's kind of interesting, to see how usually the price, like a huge hype, for example, in professional trader chats, also reflects in other channels. It's actually quite correlated, although the data is from different data sources. So the social volume is spreading quite fast, I would say. But also, when the price increases, there's, usually when the social volume increases, also the price tends to fall quite a bit. And when is the top is like the most volume. So it could be kind of useful to analyze the amount of hype that is happening. Now, unfortunately, for this first dashboard, we don't have historical data. So if you go like 6 months, it's cut off around February because we just don't have this historical data here. But for the other two, we have it. So you can look into that if this is your, if you want to do some historical analysis. And we have this data right now in the closed beta for 5 different projects. Let's look at Verge too. It's quite interesting, this one. Here, this drop, exactly, when the most hype was generated. And again, big correlation between these different social channels. As you can see here, and even like these tops here, again, quite highly correlated. Okay, so I think this is everything from me on my agenda. Yeah, so I think we are ready for questions. I don't have anything else to show you. The idea is that we're going to add more and more dashboards here to the closed beta. We are actually also exploring some other platforms for visualization of such kind of data, because Grafana is a bit limited in some senses. But the idea is that this thing, so we're running this closed beta now, And at some point, and we're working on this integration right now, we're going to hook up Grafana with Sandbase. So you'll be able to, when you log into Sandbase, you'll be able to, actually you'll be able to log in Grafana in these dashboards using Sandbase if you have an account there. And at some point we need to integrate the Sun token into that thing. So maybe, you know, some of the dashboards will be available only for people that have a certain amount of Sun tokens. For now, we are running only the closed beta to explore, you know, what the community thinks about this, what things we can improve. Generally,